Right? So this is book of Exodus, chapter 18, verse 13. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from the morning unto the evening. And when Moses, his father-in-law, saw all that he did to the people, he said, What is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone? And all the people stand by thee from morning unto even. And Moses said unto his father-in-law, Because the people come unto me to inquire of the Most High. So, Moses pretty much sat alone for most of the time because he had to meditate on the laws, and plus the pressure in dealing with the majority of Israel. Because you know how Jake is, man. Jake likes to argue. Jake likes to cause strife, man. Just for the sake of causing strife, man. So you can just imagine the amount of pressure. Because you know how we're out here and we try to talk to the multitude of the nation of Israel. Really, we're trying to bring back the elect. Because we know the 2/3 aren't going to get it or understand or comprehend what we're telling them. But when you try to speak to a simple-minded Jake, just one Jake can give you a headache, man. Just one of them, man, can give you a motherfucking headache. And when you want him to leave, he'll stick around. If he sees that you want him to leave, he'll stick around. But if you want him to stay, then he'll leave. You know how Jake is, man? Jake's hard-headed, and he's a hard nut to crack, man. But Moses had to deal with that solo, on his own. And his father-in-law, the father of his woman, called Jethro, he basically asked him, Wagwan, how come you sitting all alone and you judging on the people and yourself, all by yourself? And you could see the pressure that was upon Moses. When they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them know the statutes of the Most High and his laws. So Moses was like a teacher, and the people of Israel, they were like his children. So he had to teach them the ordinances of the Most High power. That was his duty. Understand? And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, The thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away, both thou and this people that is with thee. For this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Hearken now unto my voice. I will give thee counsel, and the Most High shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to the Most High wood, that thou mayest bring the causes unto the Most High power. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear the Most High, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of 100, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10. So, men who hate evil and hate covetousness, man. Men of truth that fear the Most High. So if you claim, because that's what's gonna happen, man. When the kingdom's gonna be established in Israel, when we finally get delivered up out of this place, this God-forsaken place, there's gonna be a point where we're gonna come back down to the earth after we've just been delivered through the chariots of the Most High, what the white man calls UFOs, ignorantly called. That there's gonna be an order. David's gonna be the king, or Marshal, but we're gonna call him David, alright? Or Dawad, or Malak Dawad. And then there's gonna be an order from there, even amongst the elect. There's gonna be rulers over hundreds, thousands, rulers over 50s and 10s, man. You understand? Just like when Moses was advised by Jethro, his father-in-law, to order the people of Israel, our ancestors. So you gotta keep in mind, those brothers, you like I said, you're trying to learn this truth. There's gonna be a point in time, if you're of the elect, that you're gonna be chief rulers, man, in Israel. You're gonna have responsibilities, man. And like I said, the characteristics that a chief ruler is meant to have, he's meant to fear the Most High, he's meant to be a man of truth, and he's meant to hate covetousness, man. Meaning, you want this, you want that, you know, you want a gold and silver, you want all these carnal things, you know, all these materialistic shit. Because remember, man, that's how a woman thinks, man. She's about pleasure. A chief ruler, he's meant to walk in the spirit, man. The scriptures tell you, she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth, man. So we're meant to remain in the spirit, man. Walking in the spirit after the Most High, man. You know? Man of truth. 2/3 of our people aren't like that right about now, but anyway. And let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter, so Salaki, let me read that again. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. You know? So that's what these minor rulers do, that are beneath the king, but are still ruling over thousands and hundreds and fifties and tens. They're bearing the burden of the king, man. You know? So you, like I said, man, you've got a lot of because like back in the ancient world, if you had like a governor, so to speak, and he fucked up. Now when you watch the Moabite movies about war and, you know, the conquest of the different kingdoms in China, the Wei dynasty and the Shu dynasty and shit. If a man fucked up in war, if like a captain fucked up, and then after he lost the battle, he'd be brought before the ruler of that kingdom or dynasty, and then the king would ask him, why the fuck did you fuck up? And then he'd be put to death, man. Why? Because he had responsibilities. And he was meant to order the army well. But if he done lost the battle, then that could mean death. You know, that could mean his head being beheaded, or being pulled apart by 4 horses, man. Verse 23, if thou shalt do this thing, and the Most High command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all this people shall also go to their place in peace. So Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he had said. And Moses chose able men out of all Israel, and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10s. And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard causes they brought unto Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves. Alright? So like I said, if there was a matter too hard for the for the minor judges of the people to judge for themselves, they brought onto the chief judge, who was the king, who at this time was Moses. You know what I'm trying to say? And the point that Jethro was trying to make out is that, man, if you judge the people all by yourself, you're gonna wear yourself away, and the people, man. So lucky. Bear with me for 1 sec. The book of 1 Kings, chapter 3, verse 22. And the other woman said, Nay, but the living is my son, and the dead is thy son. And this said, No, but the dead is thy son, and the living is my son. Thus they spake before the king. So basically, this is the time of Solomon. Solomon was the son of David. During the whole reign of Solomon, Solomon ruled in peace, man. That's where you really get the name Solomon from. Okay? Now, during the time of Solomon, he was basically the wisest king that ever existed, man. That ever lived before him, and that pretty much that ever lived. All kings, all rulers of other nations came to Solomon for advice and for wisdom, all right? To have their questions answered. Solomon knew pretty much everything, man. Why? Because for those of you that have ears to hear, he was Yahweh Shai. He was the Lord himself. But I haven't got time to prove that. But the point is that right about now, when we're just reading right here, 2 harlots came to Solomon. And they're basically inquiring on how to get their judge the matter properly between whose child it is. One of the hoes or the harlots, the child is rightfully belongs to, and the other one is obviously a damn lau. Then said the king, the one saith, This is my son that liveth, and thy son is the dead. And the other saith, Nay, but thy son is the dead, and my son is the living. And the king said, Bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, Divide the living child in 2, and give half to the one and half to the other. Then spake the woman, whose the living child was unto the king, for her bowels yearned upon her son. And she said, O my lord, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. But the other said, Let it be neither mine nor thine, but divide it. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's what Solomon said. He said, Bring me a sword so I can slice the child in 2. Give one to the other. Give the other piece to the other hoe, the other harlot. They both trying to claim that the child is theirs, so let each of them have a fair portion. That's what he said. Alright? How many of you so-called Negroes or you so-called simple-minded Latinos could come up with a conclusion like that? Because to have an attitude like that means to have no respect to a person's, man. You bring in right, true judgment. If whoever's the rightful mother is obviously gonna cry out, and obviously that's what done happened, man. The rightful mother cried out, and then the other hoe said what? To slice the kid in 2, because she didn't give a damn. You understand? That's the wickedness of a woman. That's the wickedness of a woman, man. You understand? First she lied, and then she brought it so far where she came in front of Solomon himself, and then tried to say and lied even further and said it was hers. And then she went even further by saying, "Oh, let's kill the kid, slice him in 2," you know. But here's what Solomon said. Then the king answered and said, "Give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. She is the mother